Okay, so we have got this Captivate file open, and we're going to try and do some things to kind of fix some of the problems that we're having. Uh, this particular thing that I'm going to do now, I mean, I don't know if this is like something that people do a lot of, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up this text somehow. Just- okay, and let's make it the right size. Okay. We're just going to see how this works. Okay. I'm probably going to want to do something about the tab order too. So basically what I'm trying to do is chunk up this material on the slide so it's easier to navigate through. And I don't really care so much how it looks, but I'm going to go ahead and fix some of this stuff. And going to align it. Okay, so I've got like 3 text blocks here. And I believe that they're going to get read and that JAWS is going to call them graphics. We might not be able to get around it, but I think that having them in these separate containers is going to help us with some stuff. So we've got some names of these things. For this accessibility here, I think what I want to do is, well, I'm just going to test this and see what's going on. I'll publish it, and then we'll go through and look at it on JAWS. And we're back, and I've done a little work on this Captivate course. Just as a refresher, I was taking a bunch of text and merging it into the background of the screen and using the slide notes. Let's see, go back to this slide. Using the slide notes to contain it. And when it was being read in the published output, it seems like no matter what I do, the screen reader reads graphic like every 5 seconds and in Captivate. And I have not found a way around it. What I did is I just put the text in a regular text box and I just broke it up into smaller pieces, and that's really as good as it's going to get, I believe, unless I find another technique somewhere, because embedding it in the slide, it basically has the same effect. It still says graphic, and I can, I can do this. I can take this guy here, make sure I'm on the slide view, and then I can merge it with the background, and then check the accessibility order. Well, that is not cool. Let me undo that for a second. So let's, that's not the one we want. This is the one I want here. Okay, so here are the slide notes. This is everything that's on this screen. And I have to make sure I'm on the slide view. Go to access, go here, and then merge the text with the background. And then just double check these accessibility notes, and they're still the same. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to publish it, and go to a different name. Let's just call this one 2. Number 2. Number 1's already published, and I don't really want to mess with it, so I'm just going to do this 2 here. And it's published, and it's zipped up, and everything's completed successfully. So I'm going to just make a copy of my SCORM window and go to my library, and I'm going to add some content. Well, I was supposed to just let me do that. Okay, import a SCORM quiz. There we go. I'm going to choose the file that's zipped up. More accessible, quiz 2. Open it. Then import the course. And it's doing pretty well. Okay, now the course is in the sandbox, and I'm just going to go ahead and change the name so I can locate it later. And we're just going to call this Better 2, just so I can tell it apart from my other one when I go back and look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and launch this, and come over here, and I'm going to turn NVDA back on so we can listen to it, and we're going to check out the difference between having the text embedded in the back of the slide, because remember in the long form videos we did this. We took a bunch of text and we embedded it into the background of the slide, and we inserted the text we wanted it to read into the slide notes. And so for the slides after this, what I've done is I have not embedded anything into the slide notes for these 3 slides. This is the first paragraph, the second paragraph, and the third paragraph. And each one of them is just a standalone text box. And what I'm going to show you is that it doesn't matter if you merge this text into the background and put it in the slide notes. That's a needless step because it behaves the same way either way. So we're just going to go ahead and look at that. And it's not a Chrome thing, and it's not a Firefox thing, and it's not an IE thing. It's a Captivate thing. So anyway, okay, let me turn on NVDA so we can hear this.
Volume mixer speakers, https://cloud.scorm.com.
Okay, I'm going to just use the read all, so it's NVDA key, or which is caps lock key, plus A, and it's going to read everything that it sees on the slide. NVDA is going to read everything that it sees on the slide.
Graphic accessibility test quiz 2 button. Go to next slide.
Okay, this is you remember in the first part of this video I merged this headline into the background, and it's getting the thing that says graphic. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide.
Top level. Go to next slide button.
Okay, and nothing really happens unless I do stuff. I'm going to caps lock A to read everything, and I'm pretty sure it's going to hit the buttons, and if we're lucky, it's going to read the text. And this is text that has been merged into the background, and I've entered all of the text into the slide notes. And when it starts reading this text, it's going to read about 10 words, and it's going to say graphic. Then it's going to read a few more words, and it's going to say graphic, and it's going to keep saying graphic. And we're going to get about halfway through it, and you'll hear what it's doing, and then we'll just move on to the stuff that has not been merged. So caps lock A to read everything.
Graphic S designed to navigate through a website and read the web content aloud. Graphic visually impaired users often rely on this technology. JAWS registered, or Job Access with Speech, from Graphic Freedom Scientific, is one example of a screen reader. You can access the JAWS page of the Freedom Graphic Scientific website at http.
Okay, that's what it does, and I have not found a way to make it not do that. So anyway,
Go to next slide button, graphic.
okay. So again, NVDA plus A to read everything it can find on the screen.
Graphic, button go to previous slide, button go to next slide. Graphic screen readers are programs designed to navigate through a website and read the web content aloud. Graphic visually impaired.
Still, these are the only two ways to get text onto a slide, and both ways is completely ruined by the way that they've implemented this. Now, I might be able to go in. Hang on,
Running
let me turn this down
applications.
for a second.
Volume mixers.
One thing that I did not try is to go into NVDA and change the verbosity and see if there's tutoring. And I'm just going through these settings, and I'm trying to find uh, extended instructions, verbosity. In JAWS, it's called um, tutoring. Okay, here we go. Report tooltips, report notifications, report shortcut keys, position information, report object descriptions. I'm going to turn that off. I don't know. Automatic say all on page load. Okay. So let me go back and remember what this was. Object presentation, report object descriptions. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. Make sure it's applied. Hit OK. And let's hit it again with caps lock A and see if we're still getting that graphic call out. And let me turn the volume back up.
Volume
There we
mixer
go.
speakers.
Okay, caps lock A. Tab.
View site information menu button.
There we go.
Address and search bar. Document. Go to previous slide button. Go to next slide button. Button go to graphic. 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 Button go to graphic.
Yeah.
Graphic. Graphic. Button go to desktop.
So I probably picked the wrong control, but the way that I've been, and also this time around it didn't actually read what was in the text box, so that's not preferable. So I need to go back and report the object descriptions. But this is the way that this came out of the box. So a lot of NVDA or JAWS users might know how to turn the verbosity up or down. Hopefully that some of them do. But I think that the fact that it's calling out graphic in the middle of sentences, like repeatedly, I think that that's like, I don't think that that's a NVDA thing. I think that that's a Captivate thing.
https://cloud.scorm.com/.
Okay, so we're gonna keep going.
Go to next slide button, graphic.
I'm gonna use the arrow key. Arrow down,
Button go to previous slide.
arrow down,
Button go to next slide.
arrow down.
Graphic JAWS registered, or job access with speech, from Freedom Scientific, is one example of a screen reader. U.
Arrow down.
Graphic can access the JAWS
Yeah.
page of the Freedom Scientific website at graphic http://www.freedom. Graphic reader is window eyes registered, from GW Micro.
So the spacing or the breaks are a little different using the arrow keys, so that's not too bad, but it's still not good. Okay, so I think we're going to hit this quiz pretty soon.
Go to next slide button. Go to next slide
Which
button.
city is home? Okay,
Go to previous slide button.
okay.
Graphic.
Let me just do something real quick. Okay, before we go on any further with this, I'm just going to leave this open, and we're going to go down here to this library, and we're going to go back a little ways, and we're in Firefox now, but I don't think that there's a incredibly like important difference between the way that this stuff works between browsers. You know, everyone's got minor idiosyncrasies, but I don't think any combination is broken. So anyway, so this Captivate e-learning course here has got, I believe, let's see, yeah, let's launch this. I think this is the one that we did that has got this quiz in it. Yeah. So this is the default quiz, and I know that I showed this in a different video, but I'm going to show it again just because
Volume mixer
we're on
speakers.
it right now, and
Mozilla Firefox.
I just want to contrast between the two and just kind of set an expectation with this one. So
For people. Blank. Clickable button.
okay. So this is just out of the box. This is
Multiple choice.
Yeah, this is just this is what you get in Captivate for your multiple choice. You can style this thing, you can change the font sizes, and you can change the colors, and you can change stuff here or there. You can go into the master slide for this, or you can change the theme, but there's only so much you can change. They've got it really locked down so users don't break the templates for building scored quizzes. So this is just kind of what you're stuck with if you use the default. And I'm just going to hit it with NVDAA, and then we're just going to see if it reads it from the top to the bottom. And again, this is in Firefox.
Graphic question 1 of 1. Graphic question 1 of 1. Graphic multiple choice. Graphic what is the capital of the United States of America? Clickable radio button not checked. Clickable radio button not checked. Clickable radio button not checked. Button submit.
Okay, so that wasn't awesome.
Desktop.
Let's do it in a different browser. We're here. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let me open up another tab. I don't even know how to make tab. There we go. Like, I haven't used Internet Explorer literally in like 10 years, so I know that's bad, but I just, you know, I don't know if it's relevant to me. Okay. Let me go back to the library and close this thing. Alright. And the one that we want is better 2. Yeah, that's what we want. And this is Scorum Cloud, and this is really cool. Just cloud.scorm.com, and it gives you a little mini LMS that you can use to check all this stuff out. It's really a great tool for any e-learning developer. It's free, and you can also send out invitations and stuff to other people so they can check out your test courses. All right, so this is a nightmare already because it's got all these like notifications and stuff.
Alert.
It's just like
https://cloud.
okay,
Play button.
great. All right, let me don't
Build.
let me close this. Close this,
Run.
and
Internet H.
okay,
Task switcher. H. Play. Play.
there we go.
Because different screen readers use varying methods to translate in grouping.
Hey, that's not the one that I wanted.
Better. Intermediate content placeholder page body font family. Helvetica Nui Helvetica Arial Sans serif.
That's totally
Please
not
wait.
the one that I wanted.
Loading.
This is the one that I wanted. I apologize for this taking so long. Okay. Oh, never mind. I know what's wrong. I've got all these test courses mounted on here, and it's a misstep. So I've got too many.
Desktop.
Okay, go back in the library. It's further back. Better 2 is the one that I showed you at the very beginning of this. Improved quiz is the one that we're going to go to after this. And then this Captivate e-learning course is the one that's got, okay, all right. This is the one that's got the default quiz again that I want to show you. And this is just slow. Yes, you can launch the course.
Volume mixer speakers. Logitech USB headset. Dialog. Slider 49.
And it will open one day. It's very slow. Okay, let's try.
Play. https://cloud.scorm.com/sandbox/content/courses/6f8.
Okay,
Play button.
here we go. Okay, so let's.
Grouping.
Okay,
Clickable graphic question 1 of 1.
okay, so like I didn't really do anything.
Graphic question 1 of 1.
Like this is all like spontaneous. I'm not mashing any of the keys on this, but I am.
Graphic multiple choice. Graphic. What is the capital of the United States of America?
It's just taking its own sweet time.
Radio button not checked. Radio button not checked.
Okay, I'm canceling that. I guess NVDA is like really slow to pick up on the accessibility tree of Internet Explorer. I'm going to do caps lock A NVDA to read everything on the page and see if it goes faster maybe.
Radio button not checked. Radio button not checked. Button submit. Button submit.
Yeah,
Button submit.
this is a train wreck. I'm not going to mess with this anymore.
Internet Explorer 2 running Windows.
Okay.
Grouping.
And let's go back to Chrome. And let's do the same thing in Chrome and see if there's a performance difference between Chrome and IE. Let's go down that little rabbit trail for a minute. And this is the same e-learning course. Oh, God.
Volume mixer speakers. Logitech USB
Okay.
headset. Graphic. Graphic question 1 of 1. Graphic multiple choice. Graphic What is the capital of the United States of America? Dallas, Texas. Clickable radio button not checked. Dallas, Texas. Washington District of Columbia. Clickable radio button not checked. Washington District of Columbia. Houston, Texas. Clickable radio button not checked. Houston, Texas. Button submit. Clickable.
Okay, well, let's click a button.
Graphic. Dallas, Texas radio button not checked. 1 of 3. Submit button. View site information menu button. Secure row 1 column 1.
I'm just tabbing through this stuff. Let me try the arrow key and see if I can get back at those radio buttons. Nothing. Okay. Tab.
Document button submit. Dallas, Texas radio button not checked. 1 of 3.
Now I do like the fact that it gave me the indicator that it was in forms mode with that little beep. That was very helpful.
Washington District of Columbia radio button checked. 2 of 3.
Okay, we're gonna pick that one. I'm gonna use the space bar key.
Space.
Okay, I'm gonna try the enter key. Yeah, so I'm not getting any feedback about what it was that I did. Okay, let me tab and try and get to the submit.
Submit button.
Okay, enter to select the submit button. And I don't know what the correct answer is, but I mean, I know the correct answer is Washington District of Columbia, but I don't know why it's freaking out on me about that. And this is the thing that I really don't like here is that, as you can see, we've got a little piece of feedback on the screen that says incorrect. Click anywhere or press Y to continue, and that is a misnomer because I'm going to press Y and see if it does anything. It made a button, but it doesn't do anything. And also, it doesn't announce itself, so I don't know what it's supposed to do. There's a results slide after this that I know, is a thing, but it's not doing anything. I'm going to press enter for the other part. Click anywhere. I wouldn't know to do this. Maybe I would just press buttons randomly to try and get it to do anything. So I'm going to press the enter key. Still nothing. I have to click with the mouse, and maybe maybe I would put I would have to replace this notification with another like hotspot or a keyboard shortcut or something, just something that announces to move this thing, to move the slide to the next question or to the results slide. But remember what I said a few minutes ago, that these templates in Captivate are really locked down, and it's like, if it's possible to edit those templates, it's a huge pain. And if you're going to do it once and just reuse that same course thing, course template over and over again. Don't try and edit these, especially for these questions. Don't try and edit these templates every time that you're in one. So if you get something that works, just clone that entire project file and just use it over and over again. Okay, I'm going to click on this and stop talking and click on it with the mouse. There we go.
Graphic.
Okay, caps lock A.
Graphic clickable. You scored 0. Graphic clickable
Okay.
max.
And the results slide's actually like not bad. It'll, if you do the read all on it, it'll read everything, from top to bottom in order.
Captivate.
So it's not horrible. It's just, this whole thing is just super clumsy. So I'm not a fan of this. So let me I'm just gonna keep going in Chrome. I'm gonna close this guy. Yeah, just forget about IE. No one uses it anyway. I know that's, not what I'm supposed to say, but that's what I'm saying. Alright. So, I'm going to keep Firefox open and stay logged in so I can just do a comparison between the two. All right, what I did to try and do a workaround with these quiz questions is I kind of like rolled my own quiz item. And this is something that Captivate is actually like, you know, helpful with. Is you can set up like one of these buttons, just a regular interactive button. And I guess I'm having like memory issues with because I've got like three browsers and NVDA and the screen capture thing going on, so I'm getting kind of laggy. So it's gonna, I'm just gonna try and get this done before everything just completely crashes. So I've got this button, and under these actions, if it will ever switch, I can turn it into a scored item by including it in the quiz. Now this is getting very laggy. I'm going to lose Firefox. I'm going to get rid of it. And I don't know if that's going to free up any memory, but yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so I've included this button in the quiz, and if the user gets it right, then they get 100 points. It adds to the total and it reports the answers back to the LMS. You know, that's not bad. Uh, you can, if you're going to do this, you need to turn off the success and failure and hint displays. Like if I press success for this button, then it's going to throw up a little like call out kind of thing up on the screen, so when someone clicks on it they get a little piece of feedback. Like there you go. But the thing is that the screen reader does not see this at all. You have to like roll another thing. You have to like do these little text captions and go up here and hide them. This is show. There's a little eye, and this is hide. It's a little bar through the eye. So these are my feedback items. And then the buttons, when you're doing actions in Captivate, on success, when you click on the button successfully, then it's going to execute an advanced action. And then here's your advanced actions editor. Uh, and you know, I'll say that like the like logic functionality and the actions and stuff that you can program with Captivate are not really that bad. You know, it's pretty straightforward. You know, if you click on something, then it'll run through this list of things. Like in Storyline, it's called triggers. Uh, so if you click on this Dallas thing, you know, the question is, what's the home of the Cowboys football team? You click on Dallas, and it hides Houston, and it hides Austin, and it shows that you've got the correct answer. And the other thing, and well, let me go back and say if you click on Austin or Houston, it's going to have other advanced actions where it hides the two that you did not select, and then it shows the feedback. And what I did, and this is I'm going to try and wrap this video up, but what I did here is I attached a audio files to the things on the screen that were not buttons. Um, it was inconsistently reading this text when the page loaded. So what I did is I put an audio file that plays automatically and reads it in case the screen reader is like not doing its job. And also, whenever you get the correct or the incorrect answer, and these captions go from a hidden state to a shown state, then it plays some audio, and the audio is horrible. It's, you know, it's my voice, and you know, I'm reading that thing, and it's just, it's not great. But I think it's going to show another way to approach these things. I would probably not charge anybody to do this, but I'm just saying, you know, there are options. And if the built-in multiple choice tool is, you know, not working because the feedback stuff isn't working and you can't change the template, then something's got to give somewhere. And so this is a workaround that this is just the basis of it. It took me about an hour to figure out how to do it. And I imagine if I'd spent like a couple of days working on it and testing it and everything, it would be a little more slick. So the other part of it is since it's reporting to back to the LMS, then we do get this thing is running so slow. We do get a results screen, and it does report answers back. So I'm going to go ahead, and I don't need to save this because I haven't changed anything. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. No, I'm not going to save it. And then I'm going to go back here and make sure that we're in the correct course. Yeah, because I closed that other window. So improved quiz is the one that we want, and we're just going to probably end up back on the quiz screen instead of the content screens because that's where we left off. And these things do bookmark, and they stay where they are in between sessions. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, so that's not what I want to do. So what I do want to do is I want to reset the progress of the course because it bookmarked on the results slide, which was um, inconvenient. So let's launch this guy and make sure that NVDA is
Volume mixer
going.
speakers.
Okay.
https://cloud.swarm.com/sandbox/content/.
Okay. Caps lock A. Nothing. Tab.
Go to next slide button.
Okay. Enter. It would just be great if it would read this out. And so I could do that with audio. I could have I could read it out loud, but we're gonna get into that in a minute. I'm trying to end this video, so I'm just gonna use the mouse to get to the
Blank.
quiz.
Clickable graphic. Go to next slide button. Go to next slide button. Blank. Clickable
Which
graphic.
city is home of the Cowboys football team? Okay, so that reading, that was me reading in an audio file. There are three audio clips on this screen. It did not like really increase the file size of the package that I had to upload. So that's a consideration of having a lot of audio in your e-learning is that it just makes it more unwieldy to upload and to like store and process and stuff like that. So that's another mark in the box against reading every single slide is one is because if something changes, you can't just change the slide. You're gonna have to redo the audio. And from my experience, unless you have like pristine audio recording conditions, uh, and you go switching out audio for slides, the audio quality can vary drastically from an old session and the new replacement session that you put in. So if like you're doing like a policy training or a compliance training and say the rules change from year to year and you want to go back and you want to like replace one phrase for another phrase, then the audio is going to be like screwed up. And it's just every time someone wants me to do a narrated e-learning, I try to dissuade them from that decision as much as possible. uh, you know but sometimes you just have to do it, and quality be damned, I guess. So anyway, we hit this thing and it read the question: which city is home of the Cowboys football team? You could have some other things on here like, question 1 of 5, or multiple choice question, or you could have some instructions. After the question is read to you, use the tab or the arrow keys to find the answer key. Like any kind of meta discourse you want to put on here. Between having buttons and having like some audio and some text boxes and stuff, you can probably get your point across, but it's just going to take a long time to develop that. Let's try the read all key again.
Graphic. Button go to previous slide. Button go to next slide. Graphic. Which city is home of the Cowboys football team? Button Austin. Button Dallas. Button Houston.
See, I like that. I think that that's not really a bad thing. Let's do it again. It's not going to do it.
Austin button.
There we go. That was tab.
Dallas button. Houston button. Go to previous slide button. Go to next slide button. View site information menu button. Secure row 1 column. Address and search bar. Edit read. Document button. Go to next slide. Graphic.
Uh, and it's not going to reread the question. That's something that would have to happen. I mean, maybe you could work out something that you could tell the user like to use a shortcut and have the thing like maybe have Q as a shortcut, and whenever they press Q, it rereads the question. That's just a thought. Let's try read all again and see if what happens. Yeah.
No net. Graphic. Caps lock off. Graphic. Button. Go to previous slide. Button. Go to next slide.
See it.
Graphic. Which city is home of the
There we go.
Cowboys football team? Button. Austin. Button. Dallas. Button. Houston.
Okay, read all again. I know this is beating on a dead horse. I know I said I wanted to get out of here, but I just want to like show what happens on like repeated scans of the page. See, my key combo has become like unresponsive, so I've got to do something to like kick it back into gear. I'm gonna hit tab again.
Austin button.
Okay, now I'm gonna do caps lock A again.
Button Austin. Button Dallas. Button Houston.
Caps lock A again. Yeah, it's unresponsive. So let's try arrow keys.
Blank. Blank. Blank.
That's down arrow key is just blank. Up arrow key.
Button Houston. Button Dallas. Button Austin. Graphic. Which city is home of the Cowboys football team? Button. Go to next. Button. Go to previous slide.
Forward button.
O. Space. T. O. Space.
Yeah, it's
R.
just reading the letters and the element that I'm in. So anyway, let's pick one of the answers and see what happens then.
Go to next slide. View site information. Address and search bar. Edit read only has document. Austin button.
Which city is home of the Cowboys football team? Dallas.
Dallas button.
Okay, enter.
Yes, this is the correct answer.
And that was my pre-recorded voice, and I know that sounded totally ridiculous, but it got the point across. So what happens if I hit caps lock A again?
Button Dallas.
Can I click it? Nothing happens. Down arrow. Well, let's try caps lock A again.
Button Dallas.
So it's stuck there. So arrow down.
Button Dallas. Button Dallas. Graphic. Which city is home of the Cowboys football team? Button Dallas. Button Dallas. Button
Yeah,
Dallas.
not good.
Go to previous slide button. Go to next slide button.
I'm going to go to the next slide. That was the
Graphic.
tab key. So graphic, caps lock A, let's read everything.
Graphic clickable. You scored 100. Graphic clickable maximum score 100. Graphic clickable correct questions 1. Graphic clickable total questions 1. Graphic clickable accuracy 100%. Graphic clickable attempts 1. Congratulations, you passed the quiz. Graphic quiz results. Button continue. Button review quiz.
Okay, give me a second.
Desktop.
Like that interaction was not horrible. I mean, which do you like better? Do you like the out of the box multiple choice questions? You can rewatch the video, and like just fast forward between the two, figure out which one you like better. It's which one does your client or your boss like better? Um, does it give you any ideas about different ways to try and get the Captivate stuff accessible? So anyway, thanks for watching, and here's to Captivate and Adobe, like for all the work that they've done trying to get this to work. uh, it's a vast field of things. You have so many different variables in terms of which screen reader somebody's using and which browser they're using. We haven't even talked about Mac and Safari and VoiceOver yet, We haven't talked about TalkBack and trying to do this stuff on an Android device. We haven't talked about iOS and voiceover on iOS. I mean, we haven't talked about Braille readers. Like, how does this stuff work for someone who has to plug a Braille display in? I mean, it's the fact that it is accessible as it is now is, you know, somewhat impressive, but there are so many bugs and nobody can like agree on what to fix first, so it's just slow going. And you know, I don't know, there's not a good answer. So anyway, I'll see you in some of the other videos on the website. Thanks for paying attention. Bye.